There's another Bluezilla 100x gem just around the corner that's all about the metaverse. And the best thing is that you can get the platform tokens at a discount right now. What's up, my name is Caroline and this is Wealth in Progress, where you'll learn how to make passive income with cryptocurrencies. In this video, I'll show you how to prepare for the MetaVPad IDO that is launching on December 10th, and is another one of Bluezilla's most anticipated IDOs so far. Now, if you'd like to hear about gems such as this one much earlier, then the DeFi Academy is for you. This is where you get early access to information about lookup gems, IDOs, high yield opportunities, airdrop opportunities, and much more. Plus, you get to ask all of your questions and get direct support from Kieran and me. Now, the Academy is currently closed for new members, but you can get on the waiting list by subscribing to my newsletter down in the description below. You'll then get an email from us where you can apply for the Academy. Now, only members who have applied and have been approved by us will get a guaranteed spot once the Academy opens up again. So go down in the description and subscribe to my newsletter and look out for that email so you can apply today. Alright, let's dive in. So we're on the MetaVPad homepage, and what this basically is this project will be a launchpad for metaverse projects. So this is a launchpad that launches on launchpads, and if you've observed some of Bluezilla's other projects, especially the launchpads, you'll have noticed that all of them perform extremely well. I think all of their launchpad projects have had at least a 100x, and I think the highest one has had probably something like a 250x, something along those lines. So they perform extremely well, and that combined with the metaverse, which is a super hot topic at the moment, I think this is a very explosive mix that could really catapult gains for this IDO to the next level. Now, as always, this is no financial advice. Definitely do your own research and only invest money that you can afford to lose. Now, they've recently published an article, so MetaVPad has published a Medium article where they explain pretty much everything that you need to do in order to participate. So we'll take a quick look at that, and then we'll dive into two launchpads where you can participate, just as an example. Now, all of those platforms work in a very similar way, and I'll just show you how it works on Adapad and Tronpad so you have an idea of what is going on. Alright, so in this article, if we scroll down a bit, you see where it launches on what kind of launchpads. So you see pretty much all of the Bluezilla launchpads, so all of those projects have had IDOs previously, and now they're working launchpads themselves. So you can see it will launch on pretty much all of them. So if you have any of those projects, you can participate. As mentioned earlier, I'll show you on Tronpad and on Adapad, just so you have an example. So on the top of this article, you see some key information. So you see the IDO date is Friday, December 10th, and it will start at 9 a.m. UTC. Now, you can also see that staking eligibility deadline is 5 a.m. UTC. That used to be 3 hours before the IDO starts. So apparently here it's 4 hours. So definitely make sure that you're staking your tokens before that deadline. We'll get to that in a minute. And then, so the first allocation round is for if you have a guaranteed allocation, that is just open for a couple of hours. But then after that, you also have a first come first serve round, and that starts at different times on those different platforms. Then once the IDO is concluded, it will launch on different dexes, and you can see it will launch on PancakeSwap, WagyuSwap, and Uniswap. Now, for my example, what I'm showing you, the simplest way to go about and sell it after you've participated in the IDO is to use PancakeSwap. I find that the easiest and the cheapest. The only exception would be to sell it on WagyuSwap if you're participating on Velaspad. So if you're deciding to participate on Velaspad, that both Velaspad and WagyuSwap are on the Velas chain, then it's easier to sell on WagyuSwap. But otherwise, I recommend PancakeSwap. Now, another important piece of information before we dive in are the KYC requirements. Now, they used to say that you have to perform them at least 24 hours before the IDO. They now recommend 36 hours, and that's probably because there's a lot of interest in this project. A lot of people will try to do the KYC process. I have done it like 10 hours before an IDO and it has worked, but there's no guarantee. So if you're watching that video right when it comes out, then I highly recommend diving in with me straight away and doing all of the steps so you're in time for the KYC. Alright, so I'll now show you the exact process on Tronpad and on Adapad. We'll start out with Tronpad. Adapad will be pretty similar but has a few differences, and all of the other pads work really similarly. Either they're either similar to Tronpad or Adapad. So if you want to participate on any of the other platforms, all you have to do is pretty much copy paste of what I'm showing you now. Alright, so we'll start out with Tronpad. First of all, you need to connect your wallet. So you click here and you can see that you need a TronLink wallet. If you've never used that before, you can simply download it. It's really similar to MetaMask. So all you have to do is you have to look for TronLink extension. It's a Chrome extension, and then click on tronlink.org, and then you'll see you need to click on that, browser extension, Chrome Web Store, and then download it from there. Really simple process. Now, once you've installed that, you can connect your TronLink wallet, and you now see that is connected here. Now, next up, you need some Tronpad tokens that you will stake in there on the platform, and that will allow you to participate in the IDO. However, you can't just buy any number of coins. You need specific amounts in order to be eligible in one tier. So if we scroll down on the website, we'll get to the tiers, and this is where you can decide how much you actually want to buy. Now, they've got one lottery tier. For this tier, you need 15,000 tokens, and what that means is that you'll be put in a pool, your ticket will be put in a pool, and then maybe you're drawn and you can participate and maybe not. So that's not what I would recommend, because it's highly likely that you will just have to stake your tokens, but you won't be eligible to participate. Now, if you scroll down further, you get to the guaranteed allocation tiers, and that's what I actually prefer, because that means that when you have this amount staked, so for instance for the Moon Pool, 50,000 Tronpad staked, then you are guaranteed to be allowed to be participating in the IDO. So that's what I would recommend. So I would recommend that you decide if you want to have 50,000, 200,000, or maybe even 500,000 tokens, and then the next step is to buy them and then stake them. So let's do that now. So if you scroll down all the way up, you can click here on Buy on Just Swap. I think they rebranded it to SunSwap. I'll just show you with a very small amount just as an example. Of course, that won't be enough to be eligible for the IDO, but let's just do an example here. So let's just say I'll swap 50 TRX and I'll get 30 Tronpad token instead. So it's a DEX like any other, so all you need to do is you need to click on swap, confirm swap, and then that will move over to your wallet where you confirm that as well. Alright, that has gone through. It's really, really fast, so that's very nice. So I've now got that 30 Tronpad, so we can now move back to the Tronpad website and stake them next. So we're back on their homepage, and what you need to do is you need to click on staking, and then it will tell you down here what the requirements are for you in order to be able to stake. So you need to be connected to your TronLink wallet. Yes, I'm connected. You need to have Tronpad available, so I've got 30 at the moment. Then you also need TRX available in order to pay for the fees. I've got that as well. And you can't have unstaked it You can't have unstaked it just before that. Alright, so once this is all good, you can click on I have read the terms and conditions and click on next. Then I want to stake the max amount of Tronpad that I've got, and then again click on next. So now this is a two-step confirming process, so you can click on next again, and then it will load that. You need to sign it in your MetaMask, you need to sign it in your TronLink wallet, and then again confirm it, so sign that again. And that's it. So we've successfully staked them. They show up in here already. So they show up that I've staked 30 tokens in here. Perfect. Now, again, as mentioned earlier, you need to do that up until 3 hours before the IDO. They even said 4 hours, so definitely make sure to do that as soon as possible. You even earn an APY, so that's pretty good as well. One thing to note is if you want to unstake it, you've got a 7-day unstaking locking period. So you can see here, you have to wait for 7 days after unstaking before you can withdraw it. So that's important to note, and that's what actually makes those launch pads risky. It's not the token that launches on top of the launch pad, but these tokens that are locked in here, they can lose value pretty quickly after an IDO has finished. So that's one risk that you need to take into account. Alright, now you're ready for KYC. Now you can see on top here, this button shows up green, and that's because I've performed KYC earlier when I first started investing on Tronpad. So I've already got that for a while. For you, it will probably be dark, it will probably be red or black or another color, and it will probably only show up once you've staked enough tokens. So if I had never done that before, with only 30 tokens staked, that will probably not show up. So keep that in mind. First stake your tokens and then perform KYC. Now you can simply click on that, and that will probably open up a new page for you. But I'll also show you in the MetaVPad Medium article, you can see down here, if you scroll down, you've actually got a KYC guide. So I highly recommend going through that. If you click on that on Tronpad, I'll leave the article in the description down below, so you can just head there. And that will tell you everything you need to do. So it's basically just a confirmation process that confirms your identity and your address, and also that you're not living in the US or another country that isn't eligible for IDOs. So that's next, and now the last step is the whitelist requirements. Now that is only necessary for lottery tiers on Tronpad, but it is also necessary for the lower tiers on Adapad. I'll show you that in a minute. So again, I'll also leave that link in the description, so you can just head there. And this is just a summary, and then they basically want your email address and then the addresses of the pads where you want to participate on. Then after you click enter, you need to follow their Twitter and some other profiles and just do whatever they ask for. And I think the last question or the last requirement is referring friends. That's actually not a compulsory requirement, so don't worry about that. Now, once you've done all of that, you're ready to participate in the IDO. So let's quickly look at what you'll have to do when that happens. So we're on the Tronpad website again, and you can click on projects next. And then you see projects open now. There's nothing here because it's not running yet. It will open on December 10th. And then projects coming soon, you can see here MetaVPad. So if you click on that now, nothing will happen. So what I'll show you is with a past project that you know what you have to do. So I've taken an older project NFT launch as an example. So here you see what's going on. First of all, you see the currency that you need in order to participate in the IDO project. So in this case, this is USDT. On Adapad, it will probably be BUSD. So just look what is mentioned here and then swap some tokens into USDT first. Then once it opens up, it will tell you how much your remaining allocation, that means how much you can actually allocate to the project. Now, don't be surprised, this will be low. This will probably be like $10 or $20. If you're lucky, maybe 30 or 40, definitely not more unless you're in a really, really high tier. But if you're in the lower tiers, this will be low, but that's fine. If you have a 100 or 200x, you still have some very, very good rewards. So you see the remaining allocation. And then what you need to do is you first need to click on approve and then join pool and then click on max so you can join with the maximum allocation. Now once that's done, it will show up in swapped, and then it will show up how much amount you've swapped and how much of the token you will get. Down here you also see the project details, so that just shows you when what is happening, also the schedule, so that's for when it opens and when the first come first serve opens, and your allocation that shows you the vesting period. So that's also an important thing to note. All of those tokens have a vesting period so that not everyone dumps them on the market straight away, so you need to be aware of that as well. That will only show up once the project is live, so you can only decide if that's worth your time or your money once this is opening up. Alright, so that's it for Tronpad. Now let's quickly look at Adapad. It is really similar with some very minor differences. So again, this is Adapad. First of all, you need to buy the Adapad token in order to stake them and then be eligible for the IDO. Again, we first need to decide on what tier we want, so scroll down. And then you get to the tiers. So they've got a couple of lottery tiers. Again, that's not what I would recommend because then it's not guaranteed that you can participate. And then they've got 3 guaranteed tiers. So the lowest one is 25,000 tokens. And then what it also tells you is that the lottery tiers and the copper and the bronze tiers also need to complete the whitelist requirements. So that's what I've mentioned earlier. So definitely do that as well. Don't forget about that. Okay, so once you've decided how much you want to buy, you can scroll back up and then click on buy on PancakeSwap. So then again, choose whatever token you like and then just enter the amount so that you get enough Adapad. So this is exactly the same as with Tronpad, so I'm not going to show you again. Just swap those tokens. Now, of course, in order to use PancakeSwap, you need a MetaMask wallet. If you've never used that before, link on top of my head with a tutorial so you can get started with that. However, if you've never used MetaMask before, I wouldn't recommend participating in an IDO because this is more of an advanced kind of thing. But if you want to risk it anyway, I mean your own choice, then use the tutorial. So once you bought enough Adapad, go back to their homepage and click on staking. And there, as you'll see, it looks really, really similar. So instead of Tronpad and Tron, you just So instead of Tron, Link, Tronpad, and Tron, you need MetaMask, Adapad, and BNB. But otherwise, everything is pretty much the same, and it works the same way for the staking process as well. The only thing that you need to note is unstaking is a bit different. So you don't have that 7-day unstaking period, but what you have is some pretty steep fees. So you could theoretically unstake Adapad immediately after the IDO has ended, but then you have to pay a 25% fee if you've only just started staking it. So you need to keep that in mind, that in order to have a 0% fee, you need to wait for 8 weeks. But other than that, it's the exact same, and once you've staked enough, there will again be so you first need to connect your wallet, but then there will be a KYC button again showing up, and that is, you'll find it in the same link that is linked in the description for all the steps, the requirements. So go through that, and then once that's approved, you're ready to participate in the IDO. So once you're ready with all of that, you can click on projects just to have a preview. But again, the project, the MetaVPad, won't show up with all the information until December 10th, until it will actually open. But you can see here it says on projects coming soon, and other than that, it looks exactly the same as on Tronpad. So really nothing too different here. So the only thing you really need to note are those fees. So just keep that in mind. It's either a 7-day unstaking period or some pretty high fees. Decide for yourself whatever you prefer. So yeah, that's pretty much everything you need in order to be ready to participate in the MetaVPad IDO. I think this will be one of the most successful Bluezilla IDOs so far. We've seen with all of their launch pads, they're performing really, really well. Of course, no financial advice, but we've seen so far it works really well. And unless the market tanks super, super hard on December 10th, I think that will have some pretty good potential as well. Now, don't forget to go down in the description and subscribe to my newsletter so you can apply for the DeFi Academy if you want to get a guaranteed spot when we're opening up again. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!